Okay, well, my name is Cindy Miller. I have recently relocated up here to Yates Center. I want to maintain as much independence as I can, and I'm not for sure that I doubt the office people at Skill get the impression, how hard it is to ask for this kind of help, I feel like I'm like standing on a corner in downtown Dallas with a sign, please deposit coins in my cups. It's very demoralizing, asking and asking and asking for this help. And, I do understand the waiting list. I do understand there's a shortage of funds. I do understand that it's not at the local level is where the hitches are. I have contacted my Congress people and whatnot, and the information they've given back to me has not been accurate. So that's a big concern to me. They told me, I should do these steps, and when I did these steps, I was rebutted, and they told me, no, it doesn't work that way. And so, I think that the people with the power need a better clear-cut understanding of what can and can't be done. You just can't go around patting people upside the head saying they're there, it'll be better soon. I think we need more than soon. We need to know that, that steps are being made, because I don't feel like they are. I know that I have moved up on the waiting list, and that's exciting. I pray to God people aren't dying, and that's how I'm moving up. I don't want that. But, it's somewhat humiliating, to have to ask for help. I had previously lived in Central Texas for most of my adult life. That my family passed away kind of one by one, and then I went through a divorce, and I was down there all by myself, and I needed help physically. I have several physical issues that I struggle with, and along with a couple of anxiety disorders and this and that, and I was not able to take care of myself. That my aunt and uncle realized that it was getting pretty serious, and they live up here in the area, and so they came down and packed me up, and we put my house on the market, and I came up here and I stayed with them. And as soon as I sold the property in Texas, I bought the property here. That due to the medication and whatnot, I came to the conclusion that driving really wasn't safe for me or others, so I sold my vehicle. And right now I depend quite a bit on the senior center to do my errands here around town, and my doctor's appointments and things are usually in Iola, and so my aunt and uncle will train me back and forth so that I can get there safely. That since I've moved up here, that my general health has improved quite a bit. That I do have problems like with my balance and stuff like that. So I'm pretty cautious when I'm walking or moving about, that I don't get in a real big hurry. I've had probably 5 or 6 spinal surgeries, so I don't do very much in the way of work, or that even my aunt and uncle, who are in their 70s, they'll carry in my groceries. And that's kind of a big hit to my ego, because I feel like at this stage in my life, I'm 51 years old, I should be helping them, and yet they're doing all of my little grunge work. And that just, to me, that it seems disrespectful, but they would rather them do it and not risk me having another bad fall. And so it's kind of a learning time for me to learn to accept help and finding ways to ask for help. That's something that it's kind of a big struggle with, I was very independent. and very headstrong, and I'm learning now that sometimes you have to swallow your pride and just go ahead and admit, this isn't going to work. And if I try it, I could end up in a lot worse shape than what I already am. With my physical disabilities, I've had several spinal surgeries. I have a form of dystrophy. And then what complicates that, I have a gastrointestinal disorder, and it's called Barrett's esophagus. I have massive reflux, and at one point I had bleeding ulcers in my stomach. And they ended up doing kind of like a gastric bypass because the stomach wouldn't heal. And so it's kind of like, people that are trying to lose weight, I can only eat just a little bit at a time. But with my esophagus, it develops scar tissue and stuff, and food gets hung and it doesn't go down. Or sometimes if it goes down, it doesn't stay there. As a matter of fact, I was in the hospital yesterday, and they dilate your esophagus by just kind of running different sized little pipes down there to try and get it to stretch. But they said that mine has had so much scar tissue and whatnot that it's really very thin, so they can just stretch it teeny tiny bits at a time. The simple things I can't do, like I can't wash the sheets off my bed because when they're wet, they're too heavy to pull out of the washer. The hardships would be keeping my house at a level that I'm not embarrassed for people to come to and be comfortable in, that it's, I don't want to live in filth, that I don't want people to come in and, there'll be a week's worth of dishes in the sink, or me having to hide them in the dishwasher. I have a neighbor that's not much on the cleanliness scale himself, and I've been afraid that I might get mice, and I don't have the dexterity to set a mouse trap, so I've adopted 2 kittens to take care of that because I can't manage that. It's my medication. Before I got the kittens, I just left the pill bottles all on the kitchen counter, and I pour them out on the kitchen counter, and then I take out what I need. Because even without the safety cap on, that's really hard to get those little lids open. And so now they're all in a cabinet sitting there with the lids off, so I can just pour what I need into my hands. I take some pretty heavy-duty medication that it bothers me. One time that I went to get one of them refilled, and he said, "You just got that refilled in Iola, less than a week ago." I didn't call that in. Somebody went through my trash and got an empty pill bottle with a number on it and called it in. That scared the daylights out of me. So now I save all my empty pill bottles, and my uncle lives on a farm. He throws them in the fire so that nobody can get those numbers off. I've tried scraping the numbers off. That's practically impossible, especially when both hands don't work well. I believe that our legislature is completely blind to the issue. I don't believe they have much concept of what people are struggling with. That they're busy in their big world business kind of thing, for the masses, and it's the little people, the little individuals that aren't getting the attention that would be necessary to help them just in the day-to-day stuff. I just want what everybody wants. I want to be, I don't need a fancy house, I don't need anything fancy. I just would like to be relatively comfortable and clean and, not feel humiliated that I can't take care of my own stuff like a person my age should be able to.